There has never been a man who instilled more terror and fear in the eyes of his opponents. With his F5 and spine-breaking suplex, every wrestler trembles once he steps into the ring. He is one of the most dominant superstars in all of sports entertainment. He is the beast, Brock Lesnar. His fast rise to the top could only have been accomplished by a man built with fire and rage flowing through his veins. So let's roll back the tapes to a time you never imagined. A time when Brock wasn't the monstrous figure we see now. But be sure to stick to the end, when we reveal the moment Lesnar made history with his advocate, Paul Heyman, to win his first ever WWE Championship. Brock Edward Lesnar was born in Webster, South Dakota on the 12th of July 1977. You see, Brock was that small, cute boy who worked on a farm with his parents, Stephanie and Richard Lesnar. But Brock's family was not your typical South Dakota family. They were known for street fights. Brock had two elder brothers, so the slightest argument led to a brawl. His brothers literally spent nights in jail for street fights and came out in the morning like nothing happened. One day, Brock's mum had had enough of the fights, and she told Brock, look, if you're going to keep fighting like this, then you better start making money from it. And that was all it took. From that moment, Brock instantly knew he needed to do more than get involved in silly fights. While he was still in high school, he started amateur wrestling. Obviously, it was a walkover for Brock, and by his senior year, he was placing third in the state championships. But during that period, he tried his hands at several things. First, he joined the Army National Guard, but quit because of his undesire to work with explosives. Then he left to work in a construction company. Finally, he decided to go to college. He attended the Bismarck State College, where he won the National Junior Heavyweight Wrestling Championship in his sophomore year. At the time, Brock's already had the stature of a Viking. He was big and built. He also performed so well at the state college that he got transferred to the University of Minnesota on a wrestling scholarship, where he was roommates with future WWE colleague Shelton Benjamin, who was also his assistant coach. After claiming multiple championships and winning over 100 wrestling matches in just 4 years of college, Brock Lesnar had his first encounter with the WWE. Two talent scouts of the WWE who had been scouting Brock from his college days brought him to Minneapolis to meet Vince McMahon in person. Vince was getting ready for a TV podcast when he saw Brock and the talent scouts. The moment Vince set his eyes on Brock Lesnar, he walked sharply towards Brock to introduce himself. One of the scouts immediately told Brock that Vince was coming towards them. At the time, Brock wasn't a wrestling fan. He didn't watch wrestling on TV, so he had no clue who Vince McMahon was. After Vince got close enough, he said, "My God, he's a Viking." Vince was amazed at the athletic specimen that Brock Lesnar was and is. After that encounter, Lesnar signed with the World Wrestling Federation and was sent to its developmental territory, Ohio Valley Wrestling, where he first met future friend and manager Paul Heyman. But getting to the developmental territory wasn't so easy for Brock. He wasn't used to pro wrestling world and how pro wrestlers interact. One of the talents of the development territory, named Vivacious Charles Wimberly, tried to pick on Brock Lesnar during one of their daily routine workouts. Brock got pissed off and backhanded the guy, knocking his lights out. Charles fell to the ground and even almost cried. That was a type of aggression that the WWE needed at the time. So after another few months of training, Brock was promoted to the main roster. On March 18, 2002, Lesnar debuted on WWF television on an episode of Raw as a heel, attacking Al Snow, Maven, and Spike Dudley during the WWF Hardcore Championship match, while also being accompanied by Paul Heyman, who was seen giving instructions to Lesnar. The WWE Universe at the time didn't even know the potential Brock had. Paul Heyman was his agent and did all the speaking for him. That was a storyline put in place by Vince McMahon. According to Vince, Brock was to be a beast, and beasts don't talk. So he had the very creative Paul Heyman do the hyping and promos for Brock. When the brand extension was introduced in the WWF, Lesnar was drafted to the Raw brand. Later, Heyman was confirmed to be Lesnar's agent and gave Lesnar the nickname The Next Big Thing. Lesnar's first feud was with the Hardy Boyz. He delivered attack after attack on them, with his sinister F5 and spine buster. We all know the Hardy Boyz are a strong force when they team up, so they challenged Brock to a tag team match. Brock Lesnar and WWE veteran Shawn Stasiak teamed up to face the Hardy Boyz on Raw. Brock wore a beautiful smile at the beginning of the fight because of how scared the Hardy Boyz looked. But Brock's overconfidence led to his downfall after he dived into the turnbuckle to body Matt Hardy, but ended up smacking his shoulder on the ring post. For the first time, the fans saw Brock taking in a little bit of pain during a match, and his tag team partner Stasiak caused even more pain for Brock when he tagged himself in and ended up getting pinned by Jeff Hardy. Brock got so mad he lost that he attacked the Hardy Boyz and even his partner Stasiak after the match. It was an absolute shocker, but the biggest shocker of the night was when Paul Heyman challenged the Hardy Boyz to a tag team fight at Judgment Day with Brock Lesnar and himself. Of course, the WWE Universe went wild. Paul Heyman in a match? On the 19th of May 2002 at Judgment Day, Lesnar came out with bad boy looking Heyman, who had this funky outfit on. It was straight up hilarious and exciting at the same time. One of the reasons you just love to be a wrestling fan. Lesnar and Heyman got the win with the help of Heyman's little tricks inside the ring. That was the end of the feud with the Hardy Boyz, but it drew Brock one step closer to his first WWE title. Since you're here, you're also one step closer to winning our monthly shout-out contest. All you have to do is subscribe to our channel and comment epic in the comments section below. It's that easy. Comment epic and stand a chance to get a free shout out in one of our videos. In June 2002, Brock Lesnar won the King of the Ring tournament, defeating Bubba Ray Dudley in the first round, Booker T in the quarterfinals, Test in the semifinals, and Rob Van Dam in the finals, earning him a shot at the WWE Undisputed Championship at SummerSlam. But before SummerSlam, Brock faced Van Dam at Vengeance for the Intercontinental Championship. Van Dam was able to tame the beast by continuously attacking Brock's legs during the match. Shockingly, Van Dam had the momentum almost throughout the match, and just when he delivered his signature 5-star frog splash on Brock, Paul Heyman pulled out the referee to save Brock from a pinfall. Next thing we know, the referee starts beating up Paul Heyman outside the ring. Brock then goes out of the ring to save Heyman, allowing Van Dam to recover and subsequently gain back the momentum in the match. Finally, after all of Heyman's tricks, Brock delivers the F5 to Van Dam on a steel chair, making him lose the fight by disqualification. On the 25th of August 2002, Brock went face-to-face with The Rock at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. The Rock wasted no time at the start of the match, running down the ring and hitting Brock Lesnar hard with his fists. As the match progressed, it was more or less a handicap match for The Rock, because Heyman kept giving cheap shots to The Rock behind the referee. The Rock had had enough of Heyman's antics. He clotheslined Brock out of the ring, cleared the announcer table, and just when he wanted to put Brock through the table, Heyman stepped up to The Rock and started begging. The Rock knew it was just another of Heyman's pranks, and he smacked Heyman off the table instead. Brock tried to fight back, but The Rock had gained so much momentum that he smashed Lesnar's head on the steel ring post. It was a disaster, and the WWE Universe went insane. To finally put an end to Heyman's tricks, The Rock gave Heyman a rock bottom on the announce table. It was an epic moment, and the fans were loving it. The Rock dragged Lesnar back into the ring and gave him a rock bottom, but Lesnar kicked out at 2. In a sudden twist of events, Lesnar stood up immediately and delivered a rock bottom of his own, but The Rock kicked out on the count of 2. The final moment came when The Rock delivered a spine buster and was gearing up to give Lesnar another rock bottom, but Lesnar countered by lifting The Rock and giving him the F5. Brock Lesnar defeated The Rock, and Brock Lesnar became the champion. Oh, and by the way, Heyman was still out cold. Lesnar became the WWE Undisputed Champion and the youngest champion at the age of 25. He also became the second fastest professional wrestler to win the WWE Championship since his debut, behind only Ric Flair. Of course, Brock Lesnar has done more things in his wrestling career than win a title. He tragically ended The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania, making that match one of the best in the history of the WWE. Interested in that story as well? Just give this video a thumbs up and we'd be sure to deliver it to you. Make sure you check out this other video showing on your screen right now. And bye for now.